Bowhunt or Die is being brought to you by Matthews, Lost Camo, Lone Wolf Portable Tree Stands, Hunter Safety System, Heartland Wildlife Institute, New Archery Products, Tinks, Carbon Express, Stealth Cam, Moose Utility Division, Lacrosse Footwear, Scent Blocker, Pine Ridge Archery, and Can Cooker.
Another exciting episode of Bowhunt or Die. You know what? We're finally getting to that point of the year where we actually got guys out hunting, Justin.
Yeah, this is definitely an exciting time of the year for us. So in this episode, Todd, we got a couple things going on. First and foremost, we have a pretty cool antelope hunt from Tyler Rector, who journeyed all the way out to Wyoming. So the first, I think, big game kill of the year.
Yes.
And then we've also got a couple hit list updates from the rest of the team, including the man himself, Todd Graff.
Here we go.
And some of the monster bucks he's going to be killing or chasing this fall.
I got a problem that we got to take care of first, though. Justin has, my goggles that everyone keeps making fun of me have gone missing. And I know he took them, and I know they're going to come up in the next couple of days after I order a new pair.
I'd love to say that I did take them and I'm holding them for some sort of ransom, but unfortunately I did not. So this is an APB, an all points bulletin. If anyone sees Todd's super awesome sport goggles or glasses that he wears while hunting, he needs them because there's good luck charms. So if you see him, give them back.
Well, and when he starts to lose his vision, he'll see what it's all about. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into Tyler's hunt because it's a good one.
Got my tag, sweet. Well, we're just packing everything up, getting ready for our Wyoming trip. We leave tonight about midnight, got about a 16-hour drive. Going out there with Dustin, the crew, pro staff member for the Bowhunt or Die crew, so ought to be fun and hopefully relaxing, a little vacation. So let's load this stuff up. Well, we finally made it to Wyoming. It's August 14th. Season starts tomorrow. We got all day today to kind of shoot our bows and get all practiced up. I think Dustin will be here any minute. And tonight I think we're going to go watch some whitetails come out to an alfalfa field. So saw some antelopes this morning from the lodge here and got us pretty pumped up. So we're going to be chasing them tomorrow. We're going to kill some time tonight, go up to the mountain, see what the elk looks like, and hopefully lay some footage down, and you'll see us bright and early in the morning. Bowhunt or Die.
We had a little free time, so we came out here to one of my whitetail spots, and we're watching these deer come into this oat field, and I think there was like 30 or 31 bucks in this field at one time. So trying to get a little bit of velvet footage and see what's out here. Wasn't really anything big, a couple deer in the 130s, 140s. So, but I think if we sat here a little longer, there'd be some good stuff. But we have one antelope hunter we gotta go check on, so we're gonna get out of here. We'll get back to it another day.
We're deer cruising in Wyoming. Gotta love it.
We're gonna keep cruising. If Tyler can get this gate closed, he's not the best gate opener I've ever seen for a farmer. I mean, look at this guy.
It might take a while.
The truck's that way, and the antelope are going that way. We snuck all the way around them, tried to get them around them. There was 3 nice bucks that came this way. They could be really close, or they could be really far. We don't know, but we're gonna probably do whatever Dustin tells me to do, and hopefully have one on the ground here before too long. Well, it's the evening here, August 15th. We're set up on a water hole. We're in a blind. My dad just shot a buck out of this blind here about 3 hours ago, and Dustin and him, we found it and they took it into town. But he's seen a lot of activity on this water. so I decided to sit here and try to self-video. See if I can't film a buck tag. Hopefully we can get one right there. 15 yards. All the way across, probably 40. Well, we've had a lot of activity lately. Kind of figured out where they're coming in at. Seen 22 doe so far. Not a single buck, but I gotta kill every single one of them. They're all within 40 yards. Had one at about 8 yards right here outside these windows, so seems like about 75% of the antelope come down that ridge, and then they kind of just work their way around to the side. So we got a stealth cam right there on that fence post. They're walking right to it, so hopefully a big buck will come into it, and we'll kill him while he's getting his picture taken. That'd be sweet. Antelope is coming in very slowly into this water hole. Got about 45 minutes left to light. Got this mule deer at 30 yards drinking out of a pond. I can't move much, so this antelope comes where I think he's coming. It's gonna be about a 25-yard shot. I just hope I can get it on video. I'm shaking. It's awesome. I love it. Yeah, baby. First antelope ever. I got my Matthews Joe with me, and I've loved this bow since the day I got it. It shoots awesome. That buck was about 32, 33 yards. I ranged him at the water and he was 30. And I drew back and he was facing straight away from it. He just finally turned broadside to leave, I think. And I just hope I got the shot on video, self-video. I think it was in the screen on the left-hand side, but I hope so anyway. Otherwise, I'm gonna go buy another tag. Got 3 days left. Maybe we'll do some doe killing. If you have an antelope hunting with a bow, it's freaking awesome. This is my first day, and I'm done. I love it. Bow hunter time. Well, I just got over here to where it was when I shot. My arrow's right here. Arrow looks really good. It might have been a little far back, but I can actually see the goat. About 100 yards right there. Whoa, he just got up. I thought he was dead. I don't know how. That's definitely the same goat. That's not good. Crap. I thought he was dead. He was laying on his side. What the heck? Oh, I got gut evidently. Alright, well, shot this goat last night out of the blind over there. I know I smoked him, but Dustin said these goats are pretty tough, so we end up just giving him overnight. They don't move much at night. And he went that way. We got good blood right here. Opening it out, that's for sure. He ain't breathing. He's done. And the best part of it all is he only died 10 yards from the road. Oh, that's awesome. First goat, Wyoming. Over here by Buffalo. Came out here to hunt with Dustin.
on the pro staff with us, and put me on a water hole last night after my dad, he shot a goat out of that blind probably 3 or 4 hours before I shot this one, and pretty tickled. If you haven't done it, you got to come out here and shoot antelope with a bow. It's pretty fun. It's not like shooting whitetail from a tree stand. It's a little nerve-wracking watching them come in from 300 yards. So we're gonna get them gutted up, tagged, and take them up on the mountain. We got good light. Take them up on the mountain, get some good pictures, and take them in town and get them butchered up.
Well, Tyler's antelope hunt officially kicked off the big game hunting season for the Bowhunter Die team. You know, that was a pretty cool hunt. You know, that's a long drive out to Wyoming. When you and I went out there, we flew. We definitely didn't drive. It was way too far for us. But, you know, they packed up the truck. They went out there, met up with Dustin, which is cool. You know, being able to spend time with some of the other guys on the team and the friends that you've made over the years is always exciting. Right. Hops in a blind, makes what looks to be, and what I thought when I first watched it, a perfect shot. I mean, it looked right behind the shoulder. That goat runs off, and you'd think he'd be dead within 100 yards. And honestly, I don't know what happened. I talked to those guys, and they said when they caped that animal out the next day, the shot looked perfect. You know, double lungs, you know, blood all over the place. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where you just have no idea what really happened. But, you know, fortunately, they were able to recover the animal and get the season started on a good note.
You know, Justin, we have these same conversations every year. You know what? These animals are tough. I mean, it doesn't matter what equipment you're using. When it comes right down to it, you can make the perfect shot, and it never seems to amaze me how these animals are able to just keep going. It's amazing. So another cool thing that I thought too is he was able to spend some time with his dad. I mean, anytime you can get in the car with a loved one, a family member, whatever, and head on out, it definitely makes the hunting trips better. So I was glad to see that as well.
Yeah, that was a great hunt. Good way to start off the season. So next up, we're going to check in with the rest of the team members. Actually, the first one we got for you, Johnny Herman, we already heard from him, but we're going to get an update. He's finally got some deer showed up on his camera. We're also going to get a check in from Todd and a few of the other guys. So let's see what they have to say.
Hey guys, John Herman here. It's August 18th. I just got back from Illinois. I did a quick little trip down there, 2-dayer, trying to set some cameras and do some stand work while I had some time. But I'm up here shooting my new Creed and trying to make sure that these Maxima Reds are flying well, which they are. But I was trying to figure out what kind of a hit list I could put together for you guys, and kind of got a screwy situation because I'm not getting any of my big buck pictures up here in Wisconsin. Generally, I don't get my big buck pictures until late August and September, so I really don't have much to show you for Wisconsin stuff. And then my Illinois stuff is generally a screwy deal as well, because I end up putting my cameras out in the summer, but then I don't pull the camera cards for the first time until after the season starts, after October 1 down there. So I generally get some nice bucks down there, but by that time of year, there's already bucks on the ground and you guys are watching hunting videos, footage, rather than looking at hit list stuff. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna show you some of the bucks that I got on my trail cameras last fall. And keep in mind that I shot my buck down in Illinois on October 31st last year. So all of these pictures came from before October 31st. So I didn't even really have the cameras out during prime time. But here's some of the bucks that I'm hopefully gonna be hunting down in Illinois this year. Pictures taken last fall. Enjoy.
Well, I decided to do things a little bit differently this year. I wanted to let the rest of the team play their cards, and I wanted to see what bucks they were going to be chasing this fall before I exposed mine. You know what? It's that time of the year where we can't wait. The velvet is just starting to come off the bucks, and I'll tell you what, this is when you get to see what big bucks you're going to be chasing this fall. Now, for me, I've got almost 3 different bucks, actually 4 different bucks that I know that have made it through the season that I'm going to be chasing this year. Personally, I'm like the worst guy in the world when it comes to naming deer. Honestly, I'd rather just go with Justin, let him name all the deer, and then I chase the deer that he names. I think that sounds like a lot more fun. This year I have 4 different bucks I'm going to be chasing. 2 of them are alive, confirmed, and are absolute giants. Now, the other 2, I don't have any pictures yet. They're still off the radar, so it's only a matter of time that they're going to show up. Or maybe they got hit by a car or something, you just never know. But for right now, I'm going to assume that all 4 of them are alive. Number 1, hit list buck number 1, since of course I'm terrible at naming these deer. This is a great deer. I had 2 awesome encounters with them. I mean, I'm talking 20, 25-yard encounters. Could have shot this deer, but he just, in my opinion, wasn't old enough. Great genetics. He's got stuff all over him. And I know that this year, which is one of the bucks that's off the radar, if he made it, he is going to be an absolute giant. That's hit list buck number 1. Hit list buck number 2. This is a giant. This deer came out on November 7th. I just got a little bit of footage of him, maybe about 7 or 8 minutes. He never, ever gave me any kind of shot. He was about 70 yards away. Unfortunately, he came out into the field. I was in the thickets, and I just was not able to really see this deer super up close. But man, when you see this buck walking away, he's a giant. This year, I know for a fact if he steps out, he's going to be a heart stopper. Hit list buck number 3. This buck here is a super good deer. I know he's still alive. I have a stealth cam shot of him, number 1. Number 2, we found his sheds this year. Tommy and I went on a hike, and we were lucky enough not only to find one, but to find a matched set. This buck here, I had no encounters with him in the early season. I had no encounters with him during the rut. And all of a sudden, his sweet tooth must have turned on. The season changed, and those brassicas, he was loving. I tell you what, the moment he found my turnips, he was beginning to live on my property. And unfortunately, in the late season, I was just never able to get an arrow in him. Hit list buck number 4. You know what? You always save the best for last, right? This buck here, this just goes to show you how bad I am at naming deer. I call this deer Moose. I think everybody that I've met has always named a deer Moose, but I'm sticking with it. This deer here, we had a couple of killer videos last year of him, and then he went incognito. We never could find him, we never saw him, and he just disappeared on us. But the cameras showed this year that he's alive and well, and he's looking better than ever. I gotta guess that this deer is gonna be about 180 plus inches. He has just got everything any deer hunter would want. This buck here is my hit list buck number 4. He's a giant, and those are the 4 deer that I'm gonna be chasing this fall. One more thing before I go. You notice the Tink scrape bomb right behind me here. Here in Illinois, we can't put out minerals and we can't bake deer. And I'll tell you what, this has been a tactic that has helped me get some incredible photos. If you want to get photos like these, here's what you need to do. You get the Tink scrape bomb, you find either an existing scrape or you create your own mock scrape. Personally, what I use is the Tink's Hot Shot spray or any of their deer urines, and I constantly make sure that that scrape is freshened up on a regular basis. I generally do that when I go and check my cameras. I'll tell you what, if you want to continue to get good photos, keep them freshened up, and throughout the entire year, those deer will continue to come in and check that scrape.
All right, guys, so 2013 season's here. In 11 days, we'll be sitting in a tree stand up in Wisconsin. Justin and I just recently got back from our farm up there in Iowa County and got a bunch of tree stands hung, lanes cut, trail cameras put out. We ended up going out and doing a bunch of scouting from the road because my particular farm is surrounded by a road, and we caught a couple really nice 8-pointers out in the CRP about 150 yards from where we just hung a new set. These bucks, we're going to call them the Crazy 88s. They're 2 really nice 8-pointers, probably in the 140, 150 inch range, which is a really good deer for up in that area. Okay, and then we've also got another buck that I call Bulletproof up there. The reason I call him Bulletproof is because opening day rifle season, I was bow hunting, and he actually ran up over the neighbor's fence, and the neighbor shot him. Never recovered him, but I had an encounter with this buck in November, and just couldn't get it together. He was about 27 yards and got behind me, got downwind, and took off down the hill. Then come turkey season, we ended up finding one of his sheds, so we know he's still alive. He's alive and healthy. He actually went down as far as score, probably somewhere in the 130 inch range, but he's a 5-year-old mature deer, and you know, another great buck for the area. All right, and the third buck that I really would like to shoot is a giant, I don't even know what he is, I think he's a 14 pointer, but he's got triple crab claws out on the end of his beams. Just a unique deer, a big deer for the area. He's been on the farm for a few years. I've got tons of trail camera pictures of him, but I just can never see him during daylight hours. I would love to get an arrow in him. He's like 160 class deer and just a giant for that area. So he'd be another great one to put on the wall. The fourth buck that I have on my Wisconsin hit list is a buck I call Stealth. Stealth Cam actually used him as their cover photo buck for Facebook 2 years ago. Now he's just like a 125-inch 8-pointer. He doesn't seem to get any bigger in his rack, but a nice mature deer. He always gets great pictures with the cameras, but just a unique wide 8-pointer. He actually has a little dimple of a G4 coming out of one side this year, and he's just a resident deer and mature. I'd love to shoot him as well. And the last buck on my hit list is actually running around an hour south of our farm in Wisconsin down in Joe Davies County. He's a unique deer. We call him the Nutcracker buck. A big, nice mainframe 10-pointer with matching G2s on both sides. He showed up recently on camera right next to a couple of our new sets that we've got out there, and you know, it just looks like he's living close, and he's a big, mature deer. I'd love to get an arrow in him as well. All right, so that wraps up our 2013 hit list from Wisconsin to Western Illinois. Stay tuned to bowhunting.com this fall and watch as a lot of these giants start hitting the ground. Bow hunt or die.
All right, well, it's going to be a little different this year. Frank's working a lot. So for the first month of October, I'll probably be filming Tyler hunting by myself while Frank works on the pipeline. This year's going to be a little different for us. Strychnine got killed last year. We never showed that on any of the episodes, but this is the first year we haven't had him on the hit list. But we've got quite a few big deer this year. We actually just filmed one up the road. That deer's name is Ernie. I'd really like to shoot him. That was a deer I really wanted to target last year, and Snowbird run him off, and we didn't know where he went, and he's come back this summer. The next deer that I'm particularly after is the one that I missed last year. I think it was probably Frankie's fault somehow in the box blind. He must have bumped me with the camera or something. We're going to name him Bert. Bert and Ernie are always together right here by where we're filming tonight.
Well, I have one deer on this farm that I want to kill. His name is Snowshoe. We had tons of pictures of him last year. I think more that I wanted to kill him is because Clint told me I couldn't kill him. So he said he's only 3 and we can't shoot him, and I said if he walks by, I want to kill him. So we think the neighbor maybe hit him with a bow, shot him a little high in the shoulder, and then he just disappeared, and we didn't even know if he was still alive. And he showed up about, I'll tell you what, about 3 weeks ago, a month ago. He finally showed back up on the cameras. So he grew. He's a lot bigger, I guess, than he was last year. So I guess Clint was right by letting him go one more year. But
I'll tell you the deer we weren't right on, and that's Till. You know, last year I said in the hit list I thought he was going to get a lot bigger, but Frankie'd probably shoot him if he come by. Well, both of us passed him up late season in the box blind where Frankie killed Dynamite, and surprisingly, he didn't do anything. I mean, he might be a little bit bigger, maybe 5 inches, but not much. So he's definitely right up there. He's 5 years old, and it'd be nice to get him. I guess the last deer on this farm that I'd like to chase is Prowler, and he's up on the north end where we killed the Snowbird last year, and he looks just about like him. He's a giant 8-pointer with kickers off his G2s, and we're calling him Prowler because I can't seem to get any pictures of him on our cameras except on our old Prowler stealth cam, some video. So
I also have a farm that I hunt. It's just a home place of my grandpa's. And I really don't hunt it much. It's got a lot of family pressure that family hunts it a lot, so I just kind of stay out of there. But this year, for some reason, there are 3 or 4 shooters that showed up in there, but there are 3 deer that I would definitely shoot. So we're gonna probably hunt there a little more when I get done with this pipeline.
Our last farm's out in the prairie. You know, everybody saw Frankie with the big 9-pointer. He showed back up. Tyler's got pictures of him. We had tons of encounters with him last year. In late season we were on him, but just could never quite get it done with him. And then we got Frank in the big splitter.
The deer that shook me up. We were in a tree one night and he came out and was just a 160-inch deer and had me all shook up. And Clint couldn't get him on camera, and I'm trying to tell him where he's at. And I was about to throw him out of the tree, but we finally got some video of him that night. He's a real nice deer, and Clint actually found a shed off of him late season in one of our food plots while he was hunting that deer. So
now we just got to sit back and wait and stay out of the woods. So Frank won't have any problem because he'll be working 7 days a week, and hopefully I'll be doing on other food plots on his farm, so I'll stay out of my woods. So,
but I could be sick just a couple days.
End of October, if you're Frankie's boss and you're watching this, just plan on he's going to have the flu.
A lot. Especially when I'm driving an hour. Might have to turn around. That's our hit list.
Yep, that'll wrap it up.
Well, guys, that's a wrap up on the hit list bucks that our team's going to be chasing this fall. A couple things that I thought was pretty cool about that segment. Number one, Clinton and Frank, I mean, those guys down there in central Illinois are on some absolute giant deer, and we know they're deer killers, so we're just crossing our fingers, that their luck continues and that their food plots actually grow. They get a shot at those deer. The second thing, which is Mr. Deer Killer Todd Graff over here,
here we go,
holding out on us on the moose buck, which obviously you were hunting last year, but didn't tell any of us about it. So you got to watch out for this guy. You never know what he's chasing that he's keeping on the down low.
You got to keep a few, you got to keep a few aces in your pocket, right?
Well, now that I know where all your tree stands are at, I may just have to go out there myself.
This Google Earth is killing me now that we can keep track of everywhere we go, and for safety reasons and keeping track of all of our stands and everything. Basically, every time I come in the office, I'm just expecting to catch Justin on my computer. So.
Well, no, you expect me to be in your tree stand come October.
Even worse, so.
Well, guys, that's all the hit list bucks for this year. You're just going to have to keep watching upcoming episodes of Bowhunt or Die and see if we can't get any of those deer on the ground.
Next up, we want to take the time to thank the people who sent in their trophy photos. Andrew Clarich,
Harold Newingham,
Marty Tate,
and Sawyer Connick. Hey, congratulations, guys. Those are some great trophies. As always, if you want to see yourself right here in an episode of Bowhunt or Die, all you've got to do is log on to bowhunting.com, click on the Submit Your Trophy button in the upper right-hand corner, and we may use your photo in the next show.
Well, that definitely starts things off now. I mean, Tyler's got the first good animal on the ground for the team. We've got the hit list bucks exposed. Of course, you never know what's going to show up now. A lot of those deer are starting to move back into some of their home ranges, so a lot can happen.
Yeah, well, we always kind of look forward to new bucks showing up, but, on the downside of that, you're going to have a lot of those deer we've been seeing on camera all summer long in velvet.
Don't say that.
Start to disappear. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it does happen every year. So you never know, what's going to happen, what's going to come strolling by once the season opens. Todd, we got an episode in 2 weeks, which is going to be after opening weekend of Wisconsin, which means the next show we have is going to be packed full of opening weekend deer season, and then from there on out, we're going to a weekly episode.
Absolutely.
So 2 weeks from now, make sure you guys check back right here on Bowhunt or Die. Hopefully we'll have a couple deer on the ground from Wisconsin, and we'll see you then.
In the meantime, don't forget to check out facebook.com/bowhunting for daily updates, news, photos, and other exciting information. We want to hear your opinions and your stories, so join us now and like us on Facebook.
And hopefully some of these bruisers come on by. Stay tuned this fall to bowhunting.com because a lot of these giants will be hitting the dirt. Now I'm going fishing. Hit the dirt. Take dirt naps. Eat dirt and die.